This is the Philly Fan Podcast with your host, Kevin Flannery.
Welcome back to another edition of the Philly Fan Podcast. This is an edition where the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. Finally. Not even a competition. It's not a competition. Any team that comes to fight the Eagles. Not a single team to face the Eagles wins. We got the beast of a defense, Hassan Reddick, killing everybody. Hassan Reddick leads the Eagles in sacks. Jalen Hurts throws for 121 yards, doesn't throw for a touchdown, and we still win the game 31-7. We still win the game 31-7. Josh Johnson is the quarterback of the 49ers. Offensive mastermind Kyle Shanahan. Not going to be so much of an offensive mastermind when you're out of quarterbacks. You run out of quarterbacks. They ran out of quarterbacks. They had Christian McCaffrey come out for a quarterback snap. Christian McCaffrey came out for a snap. Deebo Samuel, nothing. 3 receptions for 33 yards. Devontae Smith, great play to start the game. Probably wasn't complete. Smacking his hands together, he's like, let's get down the field. Let's start this. Let's get to the line. Come on. Let's go. Josh Johnson, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, CMC, they all started at quarterback. They all played a role at the quarterback position. The combined quarterback rating was not over 50. Josh Johnson's QBR was 14.7. His quarterback rating was 14.7. Do we have any scares? Are we scared at all about the Chiefs? I would have much preferred the Bengals. We'll get to that later. But am I scared about the Chiefs? Not in the slightest. Our defense is so much better. The defense, you've got fumbles coming. We forced 3 fumbles. Linval Joseph, Hassan Reddick, Kaiser White, Reed Blankenship, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, James Bradbury, T.J. Edwards, Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Darius Slay, Marcus Epps, Javon Hargrave, Ndamukong Suh. Do I have to keep going? Is there any more to say? That this team is actually good? Don't talk about the schedule. Don't talk about how weak the schedule was. This team is here, and they're winning now. They are a winning football team. They're winning games. They are here. You think they have the best defense in the league? Who said best defense in the league? We are the best defense in the league. We have the best pass rush you're going to see. Where did Fred Warner go? Where was Nick Bosa? Javon Kinlaw? Nowhere. Fred Warner? Nowhere. Eric Armstead? Nowhere. Did we hear of any of these guys? Where are these guys that we know of? They were nowhere this weekend. Running backs, they couldn't run the ball. It was a blowout football game. The 49ers, we said, Brock Purdy, he's going to destroy us. The defense, Bosa, Warner, everyone's going to be so good. No. Look at where we're at. George Kittle was a no man. 4 touches of the ball. He touched the ball 4 times. 3 receptions. He was targeted 4 times. If you don't think we can lock down Kittle, which we did, Kelsey, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat, Kansas City. You're in for a treat. You talk about weakness of schedule. You really want to talk about the weakness of the schedule for the Philadelphia Eagles. Just kind of like a season rewind. Week 1 of the year, the Detroit Lions. We played the Lions. Everyone was healthy. Won the game 38-35. Week 2, Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings, we were like, this is the problem with the Birds. Every time we played a team that we thought, this is going to be the test. This is going to define the Eagles are good. We always came up with some other way to say that this was not the test. Minnesota, playoff Monday Night Football Kirk Cousins. They're like, Monday Night Football Kirk Cousins, that's not a real test for the Birds. Find someone else to test them. Washington. That was a test. Minnesota was a test. But we claimed it as not a test. Minnesota was a test. Washington. Carson Wentz. Are we really saying that Carson Wentz is going to beat you? Did we really think that? No. 3-0. Jacksonville. Okay, Doug Peterson coming to Philly. Is that a test? No. 4-0. Arizona Cardinals. Is that a test? Kind of. We only won on a field goal. But Kyler Murray? This isn't weakness of schedule. Kyler Murray's a good quarterback. Dallas. At home. Against Dallas backup quarterback Cooper Rush. Oh, that's not a test. That's weakness of schedule. Weakness of schedule. Who cares anymore? We're 5-0. 6-0. 6-0 at the bye week. And we're still doubting the team. We're like, this is a bad 6-0. I know what to doubt. You got to doubt the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings were the worst 13-3 team you would ever see coming into towards Christmas. Pittsburgh, after the bye week. Pittsburgh, blow them out of the water. Houston, a little bit shaky in the first half. Blow them out of the water. Monday Night Football versus Washington. Kind of creaked down a little bit. Lost our first game of the year. We're 8-1. We're still 8-1. We're still 8-1. In that game, it wasn't great for anybody. We somehow got shut down in the running game. What do? We go out and we sign Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. We sign guys to pick up the issues, to make us the best football team there is. After that game, you go out to Indianapolis, you shut down Jonathan Taylor, win the game by 1, a little bit of a closer game. Did we have any doubts when your Eagles team is 9-1 that you're not riding high? This is when you're like, okay, go 2 straight home games. Sunday Night Football against Green Bay. What do? Shootout. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. Bring in Jordan Love. It's a shootout. That was a test. You beat Aaron Rodgers in a shootout. You can outrun a team, outthrow a team, outdefend a team, outsack a team. Tennessee, we're like, okay, this is going to be the biggest test. How many times have we said that this year? This is going to be the biggest test. This is going to be the biggest test. Tennessee. We said, this is going to be the biggest test. And what did that happen? Nope, 35-10, blew him out of the water. Derrick Henry shut down. Tannehill shut down. Nothing. Destruction. New York. We're on a tear. We're 11-1. New York Giants. What do you get? Blowout. 48-22. A 48-22 destruction game. Chicago. This is when we started to doubt some things. Hurts gets hurt in the last couple drives. Chicago, we beat them. We're 13-1. We're 13-1 and we're still concerned. I'm trying to tell you that there is not a concern for the Super Bowl. And I'm just giving you the facts. You're starting to lose games. You play Gardner Minshew against the Cowboys, and you still win by 6. You lose by 6. You only lost by 6 because it's Gardner Minshew. If Hurts starts the game, you're 14-1 at that point. He didn't start the game. Minshew had 335 passing yards. 335 passing yards. And we still only lost by 6. We were in the game till the end. That's the fact of having a backup quarterback starting the game. New Orleans, we had to beat the Saints to clinch the number 1 seed. Weren't able to do that. Kind of a rusty game. So you put Hurts back out there, starting in the week 18 game against the Giants. You take them out too. What one of these games did we say that we were not the better football team? We were the better football team in all these games. Got unlucky every once in a while, but we were the better football team. We've had our test. Green Bay, Tennessee, Dallas, both times. Minnesota. We blew Minnesota out when we played them. They showed that they stunk. Playoffs. 38-7 against the Giants. Daniel Jones thought he had hope. and 31-7 against the 49ers. We're 16-1 when Hurts starts the game. And I still hear people say, oh, well, it's the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to be a struggle. Chiefs are going to be a struggle. Chiefs are not going to be a struggle if you play at all like we've played the last whole rest of the season when Hurts plays games. When Hurts plays games, we're 16-1. How many times? How often do you have to say that? Then people will say, okay, let's compare them to the 2017 Super Bowl run. Super Bowl run, we were the same type of team. Carson Wentz was a good quarterback to start the year, put us in a 10-1 situation coming into the games against, once he got hurt, we were 11-2. We won the game, so we were 12-2 technically. Foles didn't have to do much, and Foles did a great job in the absence. The playoffs, we beat Atlanta. Minnesota. The playoffs ran through Philly. The last time both number 1 seeds made the Super Bowl was Philadelphia, New England. Nick Foles, Tom Brady. That game ended in a 41-33 score. We probably should all know that. Nick Foles let's look at this. Let's just look at Super Bowl. Just get some memories going. Oh, the first thing I see when you open the ESPN page is Brady sitting down. He's just sitting right there. Nick Foles in that game, 28 for 43, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tom Brady, 28 for 48, 505 passing yards. 505 passing yards, and he still lost the game. Look at who our team in 2017 was nothing to what we are this year. We're a way better defense. Way better defense. Now, I guess our counterpart is Kansas City, because that's who we're playing next. And, well, I'm not happy. Rooted for the Bengals that game. I'm not happy that the Chiefs won, but I'm not ready to kill someone that the Chiefs won. We'll be fine. Mahomes is QB. Look at this. Just look at the stat line is unbelievable. The running back, they can run the ball. They can run the ball. This is what we said with the 49ers. We're going to do this all week as Philly fans. I'll probably catch you this podcast. Hopefully get this out by the weekend, as I record this Monday during class. Hopefully get this out by the weekend, this weekend, and then the weekend coming up with Pro Bowl and all that. And next week, I won't have another podcast out until after the Super Bowl, because I'll Eagles related, solely Eagles related. We won't have one out until after the Super Bowl. So, Cincinnati, that was the worst defensive game I've ever seen. They couldn't do anything on defense. Joe Burrow was fine. Mahomes is limping and you still let him beat you. He's limping and you still let him beat you. He's not going to be limping by the Super Bowl. He's going to be playing better, and he's going to open the offense again. Kansas City Chiefs. Here we go. Chiefs were 14-3. Okay? They're 14-3. Who'd they play in the regular season? Cardinals. Won that game. Chargers. Week 2. 2-0. Lost to the Colts. I really don't understand how that happened, but I'm happy. Tampa Bay. They beat Tampa. Brady's washed up. Raiders. Played the Raiders. You're going to beat the Raiders. It was a close game. You're in the division. You lost to the Bills. Look at the games they lost. 24-20. Are any of these games big blowouts? Not really. They play close games because their defense isn't sharp. Their defense is nowhere close to our defense. 49ers blew them out of the water. Titans, 1-score game. Jaguars, 2-score game. Chargers, all these are wins. Chargers, 1-score game. Rams, 3-score game. Kind of a blowout. All of those are wins. Close games. Titans, Jaguars, Chargers, 3-point games. The Titans, Jaguars, and Chargers. Those are not teams you should be close games with. We blew all the teams that we were supposed to beat. We blew them out. Kansas City plays close games. They play close games. They didn't pressure Mahomes. They played the Bengals. They lost. Close game. 1-score game. Played the Broncos. Broncos won the game, one-score game. Played the Texans. You won by a touchdown over the Texans. Is that really an accomplishment? They almost brought you into overtime. Is that an accomplishment? No. Seahawks beat them by a couple scores. Broncos, again, one-score game. Then they blew the Raiders out of the water, but still. How many of those games are close games compared to what I said about the Eagles' schedule? How many games of those are close games? What does that show you? Either the offense struggles at points, defense is struggling, or a combination of both. What is the Eagles team? We're going to outrun you. We're going to outthrow you. We're going to outsack you. We're going to outplay you. We are the best team in the league. It's proof. And every week, I go in with a closed mind, not just saying the same thing, doubting them like they're going to not win. I've opened up now. Just looking at this. Every week they prove you wrong. If you doubt them at all, they prove you wrong. Over and over and over again. They're winning the Super Bowl. It could be a close game. They are a better football team than Kansas City. Mahomes doesn't have all the targets he had before. Now the talk is going to be over the next 2 weeks. Who is the better football team? And to be fair, for the next 3 weeks, the Eagles should be known as the best and better football team. We are the better football team of the two. Playoffs. This is where it gets to mess with me here. Look at this. Bengals. They played the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Jaguars. Both one-score games. Both of our teams, we blew them out of the water. 69-14, we're outscoring people. Chiefs have allowed 20 points in both of their playoff games. They've allowed comebacks in both of their playoff games. The defense is not as sharp as our defense. Our defense is better. I could go on forever, but I'm not going to. I'll probably say some more next week. But Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is between the two best teams. Is that not what the NFL wants? Is that not what the NFL wants at all times? Do you want Mahomes and Hurts? You want the Kelsey versus Kelsey. You want the controversy of Hollywood. You want the Andy Reid coming to play against his former team that he ran for the longest time. Never won anything. Nick Sirianni comes in. We doubted him at first. Comes in, fix the team up, plays with this mentality of, and we're on to the next one. On to the next one. Happy mentality, always keeping everyone in the same momentum. They're always happy. They're always upbeat. Is this not what you want to see in the Super Bowl? Is this not what you want to see in the Super Bowl? You want to see the 14-3 Eagles against the 14-3 Chiefs. Because you want to see the two football teams clash. That's what you wanted to see with the Brady and Foles in the last time Eagles were in the Super Bowl. That's what they wanted to see. That's what they got. And what'd they get that Super Bowl? A clash of good football teams playing football. Do I think it's a blowout by the Eagles? Not by a stretch. Probably think it's a one-score game, maybe? Yes, because we are, well, you know what? We're not over the Chiefs. That's the most evenly matched football game, as I said it for the Bengals and the Bills. What was that? Not an evenly matched football game. That game was horribly matched. Bengals and the Bills was a horribly matched football team. But it wasn't an issue. We are the better football team. Now, I like football. Definitely like baseball more. I have a little thing to say at the end of this one, which I'll say now. So, we'll just switch gears. Just stop talking about the Eagles and really switch gears. During the Eagles game, the Phillies signed Josh Harrison to a 1-year, $2 million deal. Not much, but a bench player, and I'll get to him in a little bit. But I want to just say something. I don't know when this is going to go out, when I'm going to get this done. I might not even get it out. I probably will. But whenever I do get this podcast out, it will probably be before I get the next podcast that I'm recording a week and a day from now. A week and a day from now, I will be recording a podcast with one of my friends, Zach Halbert, big Phillies fan, and invited him on to, talk some Phillies. Be a longer podcast. This one's already longer because I just ranted about the Eagles for the last 10, 15 minutes. Probably 10 minutes there. But who knows? Might be less than that when I go back. Who knows? Coming and we're going to talk a lot more about the Phillies. I'll try and get some opinions out of him about the Eagles, how the Sixers are doing, kind of being a whole Phillies sports show, mainly a Phillies show, kind of reviewing maybe some lineup predictions, record predictions, and I've really started to take a different swing on the Phillies. You can even look at it this way. We're just going to start it right here. You can even look at the Phillies' schedule, and you have to give me a valid argument on how this team cannot win the division and is not capable to win the division. You have built a star-studded baseball team. What are we watching in Philadelphia sports right now? Embiid is popping off this weekend, making big 48 points. Sixers are on a huge run. They're 32-16. Flyers, we don't talk about them because they're kind of winning, but they're not that good. Eagles are in the Super Bowl. The Phillies were just in the World Series, and the Union were also in the thing. 3 straight teams that have been playing and ending their seasons, they're ending their season in the championship. The championship for the league. They're ending it in the championship. Now, it's been a while since I talked about the Phillies and their schedule, but I look at this every day and I kind of go over it. And I try and figure out, where are we going to lose? You look at this schedule. Play the Rangers opening day. Texas Rangers, that's going to just be annoying. Celebrate the Jacob deGrom far out of the division. No more. Won't have to face him. Won't have to face him all the time. Right there. Opening day. Opening day, we're going to have to face Jacob deGrom. It's not what I would want to happen, but we have to face Jacob deGrom on opening day. Do we win that game? Opening day? I'll talk to you a week before then, and probably yes. Do I see them coming out with an insane offensive show? No. It's the Texas Rangers. They're good. They're going to be a good baseball team. But Texas Rangers, 4 o'clock Thursday. I think it's a Thursday. Then you just look at the regular season. Just look at this regular season schedule. Tell me how easy this first month is. Texas Rangers in Texas for 3. New York Yankees in New York for 4 games. In New York for 4 games, a 7 o'clock, 1 o'clock starting. Cincinnati Reds, home opener. 3 games against the Reds at home. Then 3 games against the Marlins at home. 4 games against the Reds on the road. 3 games against the White Sox on the road. 4 games against the Rockies at home. 3 games against the Mariners at home. Then 3 games against the Astros. How many of those games are losses? The conditional, we're not going to win every game type thing. If you're going to win 100 games and win your division, you're going to be more and over 500 most of these weeks. The problem with the Phillies over the years has been the bullpen. What did Dave Dombrowski go do? Say, okay, bullpen, there's some issues here. Let's go trade. Let's go start trading. Let's go signing. Let's go trade for Gregory Soto, the all-star. Let's go get Matt Strahm. Let's go bring in Eric Ullman. Let's go bring in Noah Song from the Rule 5 draft. Let's go bring in Craig Kimbrell. Let's have Sir Anthony Dominguez, Sam Coonrod, Andrew Bellotti, and Jose Alvarado running the bullpen already. Let's have Bailey Falter as a 5. Let's bring in our starting rotation of Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Taijuan Walker. Christopher Sanchez, Bailey Falter, and others as options. Minor leaguers of Andrew Painter. Andrew Painter is the best minor league pitcher. He's the best starting pitcher out there. You've got catchers. You've got all-star caliber JT Realmuto. Great catcher. You've got your third baseman of of the rest of the year, 2 years experience in the league. You got Alec Boehm. You got Hoskins at first, a power bat. Got Edmundo Sosa coming off the bench. You got Bryson Stott playing second base. Bryson Stott, young talent. He was a rookie. What did he do? What did he do? Dominated. He was a good baseball player because he made contact. He extended at bats. Trey Turner. We signed Trey Turner. Do we not understand how big of a deal signing Trey Turner is? We have a good baseball team. You have an outfield of Nick Castellanos, who is down to have a bounce-back year. Bryce Harper is your right fielder. Kyle Schwarber led the league in home runs, led the National League in home runs. Brandon Marsh, he's only been in the league for not that long. He's young. He's a young player. We traded for him with 5 years of time left on his deal. We've got minor leaguers of Dalton Guthrie, Jalen Ortiz, Johan Rojas, Simon Muzziotti. We've got the players. That's who we've got to deal with. We got Ranger Suarez. Taijuan Walker went under the radar because we just signed Trey Turner that last week. Ranger Suarez closed out the NLDS. He closed out the NLDS to bring us to the World Series. Because we have such a good team now, how can you not expect them to win the division? You're going to say they can't compete with the Mets? They can't compete with the Braves. Braves rule the division. The Braves have won it 5 years in a row. I don't care. I don't care anymore. We can compete. We have a very good baseball team. We are looking at a star-studded baseball team. You just have to look at the Braves roster and tell me one thing that they're better at. Acuna and Wright. I can argue Harper is better. Spencer Strider, starting pitcher. Look what he did. Look what Hoskins did to him. Matt Olson at first base. Better. Austin Riley at third base. Arguably. Debatable. Shortstop. Who's their shortstop? You're telling me Vaughn Grisham is their shortstop? They're better. The teams are so evenly matched in the National League. The National League East is such an evenly matched division. It's not even a competition. Not even competition for a more evenly matched team. Catchers, Darno, they have a good team. The Mets are frauds. The Mets are never going to win anything. As long as they run the same table all the time. They got Jeff McNeil, Pete Alonso. Look at the guys they've brought in. Look at who they've brought in. Francisco Lindor, Max Scherzer. Edwin Diaz, up and down, overpaid him. Daniel Vogelbach. Daniel Vogelbach's not your everyday guy. Marte gets hurt all the time. Look at the team. Mark Canha is not an all-star. Carlos Carrasco. Eduardo Escobar. Luis Guillorme. I'm not saying bad players. They're all good players. They're all going to give you a fight. This division could be a division where 3 teams win 100 games. This can all go down to the final week of the year. And by the final week of the year, you're really looking at something. Because the final week of the season is kind of the big thing. Because the even schedule this season makes us not play our division as much, so we're not going to have as many of those in-tight games where we're always playing our divisional opponents. But look at September. Look at how we end September. I like this month of September. Starting off September, we get the Brewers on the road, the Padres on the road. We're finishing out a road stand. This is where it gets good. Marlins, 3 games at home. Marlins are not going to be good. Braves, 3 games at home, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Closer to the end of the season. That's a big series to have that at home. St. Louis. This all National League opponents. We're going to be wanting to face St. Louis if we're in a wild card race and we want to kick them around. That's a good series to have. That's on the road. But it's a good series to have. Next week, right after that, no off day. Fly to St. Louis to go to Atlanta. 3 games there. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 3 games against Atlanta. This is the biggest stretch of your season no matter what happens. Rest of the year, this 10-game stretch I think this is. Braves for 3, Cardinals for 3, Braves for 3 again. Those 9 games, then 4 against the New York Mets at home. Don't 705, 705, 405, 105. The perfect 4-game series to end a season. Then you get Pittsburgh one more time at home. So you're not done at home. And then probably the division will come down to these last 4 weeks. The last 4 weeks of Braves, Cardinals, Braves, Mets, Pirates, Mets. That's where the division comes down to. Because if you're all playing enough good caliber baseball, Bryce Harper's back, we have our all-star studded team playing well, we need to give ourselves as much of a cushion so we don't collapse in September. So we don't collapse. We're a good team. I'll have more Philly stuff in the future coming up, like NFL. We're really, fresh off the Eagles game, fresh off the Josh Harrison signing, which helps the Phillies bench. One more thing before I get out of here and notice that I've been going for a very long time, and most of you are not used to listening to me talk this long because I don't have a partner, so I'm really actually doing a pretty darn good job going without a partner. Gotta address the Sixers. We gotta just say something about them. They're second. I know most people don't pay attention to Sixers till after Christmas. You're like, it doesn't matter yet. Well, it does matter now. Celtics are 1, Sixers are 2, Bucks are 3, Nets are 4, Cleveland's 5, Miami 6. We're only 2.5 back of the Celtics. Now's the time you start watching and say, Celtics going to lose their way out? They're starting to lose. Are they going to lose? We are on a 7-game winning streak playing a 19-win team. They have 19 wins. The Orlando Magic have 19 wins. They're 19-31. Don't lose. Just don't lose. Don't lose to the Magic. You're really showing us something if you lose to the Magic. Don't lose. Don't lose to the Magic. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Really went longer than I normally go, but I don't have to edit much out of this, so that's nice. One more final thing to send you off on. Philly sports, kind of related. Phillies, Eagles, Sixers. What is the next team to win a Super Bowl or win a championship? Will the Eagles do it in 2 weeks, in 13 days? Or whenever you're listening to this, probably going to be under 10 days by the time you're listening to this. Is he going to do it? Are the Phillies going to get back? Are the Eagles going to lose the Super Bowl? Are the Phillies going to get back? After this season, Eagles win or not, after this season, who's the next team winning? Are the Sixers making it past the second round? Is anyone watching until the Sixers make it past the second round? Are the Flyers ever going to be good again? Are the Phillies going to win the World Series? Are the Phillies going to win the National League East? Are we going to pack the bank? Pack the bank. Fill it up. Fill up the Citizens Bank Park. You're going to want to. You're going to want to watch this team play. Philadelphia now has a good run of sports. Take advantage. Doesn't happen often. This is fun. It's fun to watch good. Not fun to watch bad. We've watched our good slew of bad for the Phillies. A good slew of bad by the Flyers. They don't get much better. A good slew of the Sixers being bad. We just showed Jokic who is the MVP. We showed Jokic who is the MVP. The MVP is Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid got snuck out on a All-Star game spot. All-Star game spot. Why? NBA, you don't respect him. Don't respect us. We are a good sports town. Start looking at it. Start looking at it. That's pretty much all I have to say. So, don't know when I'm going to get this out. I'm going to say this a couple times. I think I've said it like 3 or 4. Next time you hear from me, you will hear me and my partner, Zach Halbert, on a Phillies Talk podcast, almost. Really recap, really maybe argue about some Philly stuff, get some lineups maybe, get some stuff going. Longer edition from me here, prepping you for a longer time to listen in the future. I'm Kevin.